Well, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for the Daily Dose. My name is Spencer Osborn, and I have the privilege of being the pastor of the high school ministry out at the Fallbrook campus. And I'm so excited to be diving into the dose today. We're going to be in Luke chapter 4, verses 1 through 4. Now, the Gospels of Matthew and Luke both detail a season that Jesus spent in the wilderness, 40 days, in which he was tempted to sin by Satan. And one of those temptations that we read about in just the first verses of chapter 4 is especially relatable to so many of us. And yet when we dive into it, we're actually able to unpack and see how Jesus was actually being tempted in this season. In chapter 4, verses 1 through 4 of Luke, it says, Jesus, full of the Holy Spirit, returned from the Jordan and was led by the Spirit in the desert, where for 40 days he was tempted by the devil. He ate nothing during those days, and at the end of them, he was hungry. The devil said to him, "If you are the Son of God, tell this stone to become bread." Jesus answered, "It is written, man does not live on bread alone." But why would it have been wrong for Jesus to satisfy his hunger? Why was this the method that Satan was using to try to get Jesus to sin? Well, maybe it's because Satan wasn't merely suggesting that Jesus satisfy his hunger. He was trying to get Jesus to doubt the provision and purposes of his Father and to act outside of them. It's also the fact that we understand that the desire for food is not bad in and of itself. Obviously, we need food. But when the pursuit of a natural desire comes before obeying God, that's when we get tripped up. That's when we cross the line into sin. This example helps us understand that sometimes temptation is less about doing an action that is characterized as wrong and more about satisfying a normal desire, but in a sinful manner. Eating is not wrong, but placing our desire for something neutral or even for something good above trusting God in obedience is wrong. As Christ followers, we should not let our desires for anything lead us to act in disobedience. But it's not as though we must suffer quietly and without hope. Here's the hope that we have. When we see needs and feel tempted to sin to get what we feel we must have, the Bible reminds us that Christ has already given us incomparable riches of grace, and that his grace is sufficient. It tells us this in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. With these promises in mind, Christ strengthens us to depend on him while in times of trial. And we are given strength to endure, but he also promises more than that. In John 6:35, he says, "Whoever comes to him will never hunger or thirst." We are given the riches and grace of Christ, and we are promised that he alone satisfies. May that be the thing that we remember today. I hope that was encouraging to you and that you join us again next time.